All right, here we go, here we go, here we go. It's time for the live stream. Welcome everybody to Cowboy Metal's live stream. We are 1 hour early today for Father's Day, so everybody can get to their festivities. We have Father's Day celebration planned as well. And we are going to be leaving a little bit early. Plus, we're going to do a follow-up call with Daniel Vigario. That'll be coming out this week, and we're going to be talking about the latest video that Richard Hayes had with Kitco. Yes, we do have an opinion on that, and I'll talk more about that here in a moment. Welcome everybody to the program. We're going to give it a few minutes for everybody to load into the chat room. This is the special Father's Day edition of the Cowboy Metals live stream. It's Cowboy Metals because we broadcast from the great state of Texas, and we'll be talking about triple witching and what it means for gold and silver. Welcome everybody into the chat room. This is also our unofficial European Appreciation Day broadcast of the week, because early on our channel, we realized we had a lot of people from the UK and from Europe and from different places overseas, Australia as well, and they wanted us to do an earlier version of the broadcast. So that's what this broadcast is for. This is also your weekly QA and look back on the channel. So if you have things that you want to ask for me to answer, please put those in the super chats. And I will make sure and answer all super chats, as well as trying to answer some of the other chats as much as I can. We're going to go a little bit short today. We're probably only going to go about 30, 35 minutes at the most because of Father's Day. Welcome everyone in. Welcome all the fathers. If you're a father or want to appreciate your father on this day, please put it in the chat. Once again, we're going to be talking about triple witching and what it means for gold and silver. We'll get started with the program here in just one moment after everybody loads into the chat room. Welcome to Brian. Welcome to Mike or Sarah, who's doing our moderating today. Appreciate you doing that. Welcome to N the Fed, who had a question, which I promise you I will answer here in a moment. Also, welcome to Kristen Rowe. Thank you for wishing us happy Father's Day. Welcome to Hayden and his dad, Mike, who doesn't like to get in the chat, but does watch the program. We appreciate both of you for joining us. Hey, Derek, I am going to answer your question here in just a moment. Hey, Ross Martindale, thank you for joining the chat. Original Intent is here. Thank you very much. Donald Bess, welcome to the chat room. All right, I think we're about ready to get started, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and load our share screen. And we do have a sponsor, so I'm going to do a real quick sponsor announcement. The sponsor of this video is Tier 1 Silver. Tier 1 Silver has a very good silver project in Peru. I really like this one. That's why I asked them to join us on the program. You can see that they trade right here on the Toronto Stock Exchange, and I believe they're on the OTCs as well. They have the Cura Buyout project in Peru, which looks like it's going to be the next world-class silver project. This used to be the silver project under RN Resources. RN split up into 3 different companies, and they broke out into copper, gold, and silver. And Tier 1 Silver, I think, may be the best of the bunch, but they're all good. This is some of the recent results they've had from their drill holes. Yes, this is not a misprint. 298,590 grams per ton silver on that drill hole. Once again, 298,590 grams per ton silver on that drill hole. And you can see they've had a ton of other good drill holes. And on these drill holes, they're also getting good grams per ton gold. I don't know about you, but I would be interested in looking at this company only for the 934 grams per ton gold. But you add in 298,000 grams per ton silver, and you've got something pretty special. So we think this company is potentially very special. That's why we brought them to the program. They are a sponsor, so we're going to mention them. And we do believe they're going to be coming to our next conference in August. Wait for a special announcement of when we do the Money Metal Summit 2021 version. This will be the second inaugural in August. All right, so I want to get straight to the questions. So the first question we got was from N the Fed. And the Fed says, nothing to say about the Richard Hayes interview debunking your claims about the Perth Mint. Well, first of all, I have watched the interview and he didn't debunk anything. He basically went back over his financial statements, didn't explain how they were misconflating inventory and assets and all the other tricks they used in the balance sheet. They basically just read the same RNS that they printed earlier in April. It didn't debunk anything. We've already debunked their press releases. But don't worry, right after this meeting, I'm going to be meeting with Daniel Vigario, and we are going to be recording a response, and that's going to come out this week. But in general, this is a response that I want to give to all of those in the gold industry that think that they can lie to the customers and that they can manipulate. And this is going to be a little scene from Tombstone. Let me actually make sure I share with sound. We'll redo the share here and share with sound. I always forget to do that. This is a scene that here on Cowboys Metals live stream that I've been wanting to do for a long time. So this goes out to Kitco, this goes out to the Perthman, it goes out to anybody who wants to manipulate the markets.
All right, Clanton. You called down the thunder, well now you got it. You see that? It says United States Marshal.
Why? Please don't kill me, please. Please.
Take a good look at him, Mike, because that's how you're gonna end up.
The Cowboys are finished, you understand me? I see a red sash, I kill the man wearing it. So run, you cur.
Run! Tell all the other curs the law's coming! You tell them I'm coming! And hell's coming with me, you hear? Hell's coming with me!
There you go. Thank you, Kurt Russell, for that awesome scene from Tombstone. Yes, hell's coming with us. This is why we do Cowboy Metals live stream, is to call out the BS in the market, and we're a no BS channel. And we're going to call out all the crap that goes on in the market. We're going to continue and follow up about the Perth Mint. We're going to call them out for the BS that they had. Stay tuned for that. All right, for today, I wanted to talk to you guys about triple witching, because there's a lot that's said about triple witching in the markets. What is triple witching? How does it affect gold and silver? I think there may be some cover up for the recent smash downs in the gold and silver market through triple witching. So that's something that I want to cover with you guys. So we'll get back to the share here real quick, and we will go to what is triple witching. We're going to define that for you. So we have an article here from on NASDAQ, and triple witching is basically on the third Friday of every third month, multiple derivative products expire, giving rise to greater than normal trading volumes. It's commonly called triple witching day. Triple witching is based on traditional third Friday quarterly expirations of index options, which expire in the open auction, index futures, which expire in the open auction, and single stock options expire in the close auction. And a little explanatory paragraph here. That means all open derivatives need to be delivered, or at least the profit and losses for cash settled contracts. For a market maker, at the instant the derivatives expire, their hedge is no longer needed. In order to collapse their hedge safely, they need to close their hedge in the same auction that's used to price the derivatives expiry. This causes a lot of trading on the expiration date. Sometimes it's called the quad witch because there was another witching in there, although it's most often referred to as triple witching. One more thing from Investopedia. Triple witching is a simultaneous expiration of stock options, stock index futures, and stock index option contracts all on the same day. It happens 4 times a year on the third Friday of March, June, September, and December. And because 3 option classes expire all on the same day, it can cause increased trading volume and unusual price action in the underlying assets. So essentially what triple witching is not COMEX traded derivatives, but other derivatives in the market, which all expire on the same time. It happens 4 times a year. We just had it happen on June 18th, and a lot of people were talking as though that's why gold and silver were slammed down, although I beg to differ, and I want to explain why I beg to differ here by looking at the numbers. So as you can see, the day before the triple witching, there was a lot of movement in both gold and silver. So 402,000 contracts in gold that were settled, and in silver it was 188,000, so quite a bit. However, the expiration dates, if we go to the calendar for June contracts, wasn't the triple witching day. So if you look at the last day trade for silver futures, it's 28th of June, not the 18th of June. So triple witching doesn't directly apply to the gold or the silver futures markets. We'll go to the gold calendar here too, and click on calendar, and we're gonna go over here. And again, the last day you can trade that June contract is June 28th. So triple witching doesn't apply directly to this derivative. It doesn't apply to the options either, because if you look at the options calendar, it didn't expire on the 18th. I believe it was the 24th, if I'm correct. Actually, I do have something I can share there. Let's validate that. We're gonna go over here to CME Group's little options expiry little widget, if you will, and I believe it's on the 24th of June for gold. And if we go to silver, it's right here as well on the 24th of June. So option expiration is on the 24th and 25th of June. It's not, so even the options on COMEX don't expire on the 18th. The triple witching is for derivatives outside of the COMEX. Okay, just wanted to point that out. I don't think that most articles that I've seen actually explain that. So in other words, does triple witching explain this? Well, it could partially. If you were hedging a position in one market, say a derivative of some gold or silver fund or ETF or something, and an option was going to expire and you wanted to hedge it with a future, you could. How much does that actually occur? I don't know. But most of these trades, I don't think, have directly to do with derivative trading in other markets. Now, people can hedge themselves by trading in different paper markets. I'm sure that does occur. There's probably arbitrage opportunities. But at the end of the day, I think triple witching is a cover for what goes on in the COMEX futures market. And most of the literature I've read doesn't really cover that very well. It just says, oh, we're going to have options expiry. It doesn't state that that's not one of the CME group options or the futures derivative position. So again, wanted to clear that up. I think we need to do that because triple witching shouldn't directly affect the gold trade. Now, the gold and silver typically in June June is weaker month for that. A lot of it has to do with the traditional saying, sell in May and go away. People are less active in a lot of markets, especially in June because they're taking vacations. Maybe they pull their money out of the market because sometimes there can be lower volumes during the summer than there are in other parts of the year. So as volumes fall, people may think that there would be less liquidity or less ability to trade in and out of position. So a lot of times June will kind of start that off. Now people are still involved in the financial markets. It just tends to be a little bit weaker part of the year for a lot of the markets and gold and silver as well. So a lot of the sell-off could be more attributed not to triple witching, but more to what usually happens every year, which is weakness in the metals markets. With the exception, I think, of 2016, I think we had some strength there. But most of the time in the last 20, 30 years, June has been one of the weaker months. It's just a seasonal trade. And so you can see rotation out of gold. You saw as of Thursday's data, you did see a rotation of 3,400 contracts out. The standing trading month is August 2021, the near term largest traded month, but you see some contracts starting to rotate to the end of the year already. So people are already taking their bets on the end of year gold price on the December 2021 contract. And if you look at the settlements, what I find really interesting leading up to the triple witching day was how gold was settling. You look on last Friday's data, you can see right here, it settled 265,000 contracts settled at an average of 1769 essentially. That's a really low price from where gold was. And if you look at the lead up to Friday, it had been falling. So previous had been 1774. That was 387,000 contracts. If you look at Wednesday, 1861, 235,000 contracts. So yes, the impending triple witching day that we had last Friday on the 18th, you could see the market was trading to it, even though they don't have to. They don't have to get out of these futures positions by June 18th. They have till June 28th. So is some of this rotating out of the current month into the next big delivery month of December? Potentially. Is some of this hedging the other markets, the other index options markets? Potentially, but I think it's overblown. I think a lot of this is just slamming the gold price, honestly. That to me, and I think it could be ahead of Basel III, because think about what June 28th is. At the same time, that is the last trading day on the CME group for gold and silver futures. Gold specifically is when Basel's supposed to kick into effect officially for Europe, even though the US and Europe have already started to comply with it. Now, remember, we've done on previous videos, Basel III doesn't come into effect for the London OTC market until January 1 because they're putting it off by 6 months. And I don't know if that's for them to unwind their positions or just figure out strategy. But the London market actually gets an extra 6 months. But as far as I know, the American markets and European markets on the same day that we have this June contract expiring and trade in those June futures expiring is at about the same time Basel III is going to come into effect. So I think a lot of this has to do with expectations of Basel III. But I also think it could be cover for Basel III and hammering down the gold and silver price prior to Basel III, because think about it, the market should be pricing in rises in the price of gold and as a complementary monetary metal silver leading up to Basel III, and yet they're hammering the price with all of these contracts, 265,000, 387,000, so on and so forth. Let's go over to silver here. Let me get my meeting controls out of the way. All right, silver futures, same thing, very heavy volume, 188,000 on the day before, and you could see decent volume. Let's look at the settlement data. If we go to Friday's actual settlement data, you can see people are rotating into the September contract already. There's already open interest of 75,490. There's heavy volume in July as they rotate out. If you go to Thursday, same thing, and the price is 25.85. I mean, leading up to the triple witching day, it went from 27.81 on Wednesday. Thursday's really the day they hammered it down from a price perspective. It was only 157,000 contracts, but it was almost, what was the price there? 27.80. It was over $2 difference. 25.85. That's not normal. That is what you call a slam down. That's a $2 difference in the price. Okay, so that's a slam down. I don't think that triple witching is a good cover because triple witching doesn't directly affect these markets. Could some of this be hedging those positions? Potentially. I also wanted to look at ICE, which is the international exchange. And theirs didn't, their last day to trade is June 28th as well. So the futures traded there on ICE also close on the 28th, not on the 18th, not on triple witching day. So again, whether it be the COMEX or ICE, we're not seeing the contracts needing to be liquidated by the 18th. So why were they? Why was all of all of that trade? Why was that rotation out of the June contract into other contracts for gold and silver? You know, I don't know what to say there other than the fact that I think the powers of be are trying to hammer it down before Basel III as much as they can. And there could be other things going on which we don't know about, but I don't see triple witching as being excused. But that's what triple witching is. You're going to see it in the financial press. They're going to group together gold, silver with all these other financial derivative assets and tell you that triple witching is the reason why those prices got hammered down. I wanted to give you information as to why I don't think that's a legitimate excuse. So if you're seeing that kind of stuff on CNBC or you're seeing on Bloomberg or whatever, from my opinion, just ignore it. I think an excuse. I do think that seasonally June is a weaker month. That's probably a better excuse. But with Basel III sitting on the horizon at the end of June, you know, I would expect to see some anticipatory rises in the futures for gold because I can only see that as being bullish for the actual physical gold trade. Maybe they're using the derivatives to hammer it down ahead of time. We did run a poll earlier this week. June is typically a weak month for precious metals. What's your target price for silver on July 1st? And 35.3% said 28.50, 20% said 27, 14% said 26, and 30% said 25. There were a couple of people in the comments that said, what about 30? Well, I think 28.50 is the new 30. I think they're trying to hammer it down so it doesn't break through 28.50 because 30 is such a major psychological level, they can't let it get close. And I think with Basel III on the horizon, if that does what we think it will to the gold price the next few months, as it's implemented Europe, the US, and eventually the London market as well, I think there's going to be incredible pressure on the price of gold to rise. And that means the price of silver to rise. And so I think they've drawn a new line in the sand, the people that want to control the silver price and not let it get above 28.50. Remember, Rostin Benham said at the Boca V conference that they tamped it down when it got close to 30 last time, using all of their market tools to control the price and the volatility and the price movements of silver. So who says that they're not doing that again at 28.50? Of course, you look at the chart, you see all this, smash down. I mean, look at the trading and the price difference between the Wednesday data trading at 27.80, 81 and 27.84, the two biggest amounts of contract closures, and then a day later 25.85, almost $2 difference in the price. That to me is a hammer down. The triple witching is an excuse. I don't agree with that, and I don't think it really applies here. All right, so I think that's it for me today on triple witching. Let's see how far we've gone into. All right, we're about 18 to 20 minutes in. I'm going to go back and look at the chat, guys, and see where you guys are at. Lots of questions here. I think there was a question from, let me go right back up here to the top. There was a question from Derek. Hey, Rob, did you see the recent Palisades Gold Radio Roundtable on Basel III? Thoughts? That didn't seem that it would be, I just lost it. That didn't seem to necessarily be a good thing for gold prices short term. I kind of disagree with that. I think what we just saw in the data showed you that they're hammering the gold and silver price. So if we want to talk about it's not bullish for the derivative price in the short term, I absolutely 100% agree because I think they're going to hammer it. In terms of the physical gold trade, it's absolutely bullish. And the question is, are they going to allow the effects of Basel III to rise over time? I think what we're seeing here is we're seeing competition between China, Russia, and the Western powers for the gold market. I think Basel III was implemented according to Hugo Salinas Price, the billionaire Mexican investor, because according to him and his sources, Russia and China threatened to peg their currencies to gold, which basically would have routed the dollar in international trade and would have brought an end to the fiat dollar being the world reserve currency. And so it could have been that, but I think there's a war going on. So I think Basel III is being implemented to shore up the Western gold markets, but they're not quite ready. So they're probably hammering the futures prices down to create that expectation that Basel III won't affect it. I don't see any way it couldn't affect it over the long term. And I tend to agree with Andrew McGuire and Alistair McLeod that it's going to. I don't know that the gold market's going to break on June 29th or even on January 1st, 2022 because of the Basel regulations, but I think it's going to affect it. It's going to be a stair step. It's going to go up, and I don't see how you could stop it. I think there's going to be a rush to physical. And the question is, how long will the derivative markets be able to tamp that down? Is Roston going to be in there, as he admitted to in silver earlier this year, in public, tamping down the gold market? I don't know, but I'm sure that there will be players in the market trying to tamp it down. I think we're going to have to see what happens. Okay, we did have a super chat come in. Thank you very much to Dumb Money Media. Says, would it be okay if I put your face in the next video I'm working on? You and Chris would be the team. Only if you want this, because it's going to be a slightly bloody scene, but pretty epic. Yeah, I'm okay if you put me in there. Thank you, Dumb Money Media, for the donation, and thank you for being a subscriber to the channel. Dumb Money Media has his own YouTube channel where he does memed videos, which are really, really cool. Fit up the alley of Wall Street Silver and the like. So if you guys are interested in that, go to Dumb Money Media's YouTube video. He does great meme videos. I think they're awesome, and we promote those here on our channel. If you guys want to throw something in the super chat, we will discuss it. We got about 10 minutes left, so I'm going to take a little bit of a look back on what we did over the week, guys, on our channel. So 5 days ago, we had our video called Customers at Risk. Perth Mint turns itself into a bank. And Daniel and I did a literal super walk down of the financial statements. This is our third video, by the way. Let me share screen on this. So it's right here, and it's our third video. And we even went deeper into the financials than we had previously. This time I brought Daniel on. We stated our credentials. We talked about the Perth Mint's response on KitGo. We spent a lot of time talking about why Kevin Rich's explanations were not valid. They responded about 3 or 4 days ago by putting a video up with Richard Hayes, the CEO of Perth Mint. We're going to get to that. As I stated at the beginning of the video, we're going to have a response to that. Daniel and I are going to talk about that today. But at the end of the day, the Perth Mint, I think, is in trouble because the conclusions we have by looking at their financial statements are pretty damning, and nothing that they said in that KitGo interview with Richard Hayes debunked any of that. They gave the same explanations they gave before that we've already addressed, but we're going to address them one more time. And then we're going to have a roundtable. I haven't decided what channel the roundtable is going to go on. We've had some people volunteer who to put us on a roundtable. I think it's going to be myself, Daniel, and John Adams in that roundtable. It's either going to be on my channel or somebody else's popular channel, and we're going to be talking about this as well. We're going to bring everybody together to talk about this. So don't worry, we've got a lot more coming on the Perth Mint. I also interviewed late this week on Wall Street Silver, the Reddit channel, with Lee and Ivan and Jim. Love to go on that channel. We were talking specifically about this, the Perth Mint, and I gave my views there. I think you'll see that coming out next week on Wall Street Silver's channel, and time permitting, because I know they got a lot of video content, and they'll record and publish later. But you'll see that coming out, and I give some more of my opinions there to Wall Street Silver on the whole Perth Mint saga. So not only are Daniel and I going to get back together, I've already gone on Wall Street Silver, and I'm going to go on another channel roundtable with Daniel and John Adams. So you're going to see at least 3 more pieces on the Perth Mint. So don't worry about that. We're going to have more on that. I also had an interview with Andrew McGuire. He talked about how he thought Basel III was going to change the gold market forever. That was an interesting interview. He gave his opinions from the wholesale market. I often talk retail and the derivatives markets. He was talking the wholesale market, kind of put all that together. I thought it was an interesting interview. Go watch that one. And then we had sponsor Tier 1 Silver. We talked to Ivan Bebic and the CEO of Tier 1 Silver about why we're in a silver shortage and why it's important, if you want to position yourself, if you don't want to pay those high premiums for physical silver, how you can get into a stock, and how you want to get into a world-class asset that has a lot of it and take your position now. Because what's going to happen after it becomes apparent there's gold and silver shortages, when people rush to go get the gold and silver in the next financial crisis, there's going to be a lack of physical at prevailing market prices. That market price is going to break, and then the next best place to be is going to be the stocks. So Tier 1 Silver, I think, is a really good one. All right, I'm going to go back and look at the chat and see where you guys are. Thank you very much. Dumb Money Media again. Are the triple witching days normally bad paper price days for metals? I can't remember what happened to metals last time, because that's a sale to me. Yes, it is a sale. It's a buying opportunity for everybody to get in. Yes, triple witching does affect the prices of the metals, especially the June one, because remember, June's typically a weaker month anyway. But I think it's a cover. I think when they group the metals into the other derivatives that are actually expiring, because remember, the metals trades don't expire on triple witching day, they expire on June 28th. I do think it's covered, though. I think it's covered for the smash down. But when you see a $2 smash down in a day in the price of silver in the COMEX markets, that's not normal. And that can't be caused by triple witching, because you would then have to say all of the trades that are going on in the COMEX are essentially hedging for all of the other index markets, and there are a lot of other markets other than the metal. I just don't buy that. I don't buy that. I think derivatives are hedges in themselves, and I think you can take simultaneous long and shorts in there. We see the COT reports that happen. So I don't believe triple witching day is a legitimate excuse. I think it's cover. I think it's just something people throw out there for cover. All right, thank you to the contribution from Adam Krosnick. Do you think that gold-silver ratio could collapse this summer as supply-demand issues trump the inflation story, or must gold, silver move together? They do not have to move together. Traditionally, gold moves first, silver moves second. I anticipate that to continue to be what we see occur. However, because of the extremely heavy industrial demand on silver, we could break that trend this year. This could be the first major time in history in which silver starts to move before gold, because you have so heavy industrial demand, such a lack of actual above ground inventories available at current prices. Now, there are inventories available, but the key is at current prices that aren't already bid for some other contract. So it has to be free silver, and it has to be silver people want to give up today's prices. So I think that's going to force silver to move. Will it move before gold? I don't know. That could affect the ratio, but I think this could be the first time in history it does. Because remember, 30, 40 years ago, we had major above ground stockpiles of silver. We hadn't got into the space economy yet. We hadn't got into miniaturized iPhones and stuff like that, where you need a bunch of silver. So essentially, I think things have changed, and I think this time silver could move even more violently than it typically does, and it could move first potentially. As to a specific date, I don't know why. Jeff Christian said silver price will fall as the month of June ends. That is typical for June. So Jeff is looking at the derivative pricing data. I don't disagree with that. Thank you, Barry Williams, for your comment. Any other comments, guys? Please put them into the super chats. We have done our Q&A. We have talked about triple witching. I've talked about our upcoming follow-ups on the Perth Mint. We'll have at least 3 of them. One's already been recorded, 2 are yet to be recorded. Stay tuned to that. One will be on my channel. One will be on a couple of other channels. So we're branching out to other channels to spread the word. We also were on Mineko's channel on YouTube, where they talked about the Perth Mint for the second time. He's talked about our Perth Mint coverage. Go to Mario's channel, Mineko, on YouTube to watch that. You can also see his opinion of our research as well there. Stray Dog, good to see you in here. Kristen Rowe, thank you for wishing us a happy Father's Day before. Congratulations to all the fathers on this Father's Day here in the United States on June 20th, 2021. We appreciate all the fathers, what they do for the families, all the good fathers that work every day and don't get recognized, or maybe do by their families, but don't get recognized in general. This is a very special day for us. Happy to be a father on this day, and happy to congratulate all the other fathers out there. Pratik Singhal asked the question, what's your outlook for gold and silver in the next 2 months? I'm a long-term buyer. What's the range you look at, low and high? I think silver could fall to as low as 25 bucks. I do think it's going to bump back up against 28.50 in July. And I think across the year, it wouldn't surprise me if it bumps up against 30, 31. We're going to have to see what happens. I think Basel III will eventually, the effects will eventually cause gold to rise. But I think that that's going to be over the next 6 months. So I'm thinking more by 2022, we're going to see maybe a new all-time high in gold. I mean, it could come by the end of this year. Depends on what goes on in the economy. If we have a black swan, bank failure, that type of thing, all bets are off. But given the current environment, I think by January 1, 2022, I think we're going to see a new all-time high in gold. It could be at 2150, 2200, something like that. Silver, I think, is going to touch on 30 sometime this year or at the very beginning of next year. That's my call. Of course, I don't know. There's so many things that could happen between now and then we don't really know, but that's where I'm going to call it for now. Last thing, guys, I want to bring to you. Remember, we're finishing a little bit earlier today because of Father's Day and because Daniel and I are going to get together and we're going to talk more about the Perth Mint so we can do our next video. I want to remind you guys, please subscribe to our newsletter on the website. This is the free one. You click on the newsletter button at the top, put in your email address, hit agree and subscribe, and we will send you notifications when we do videos like this. If you want to become a paid subscriber, we give you Gold Silver Pros University, which is a collection of almost 40 classes or pieces of information written and in video form to help educate you about finance and money, about economics of markets, about legal implications of your investments, about the precious metals, about real estate and future prepping, as well as you'll get access to the Golden Quarterly newsletter as well. The next Golden Quarterly is going to come out at the end of July. I'm going to be talking about the state of the economy, the precious metals, some cultural and political things, and we're going to be bringing to you some new mining stock ideas as well. So stay tuned to that, guys. I think you'll definitely appreciate it. Dumb Money Media comes in again. Do you think extended unemployment will be reinstated? These super chats are powered by them. Extended unemployment will be reinstated. Are you meaning, oh, I see what you're saying, that benefits for unemployed? Potentially, because this government has gone full socialist now. They're talking about a $6 trillion budget in the Biden administration. I think we're going full into MMT, which is basically just money printing. It's a modern version of money printing. I think eventually we're going to have to go negative interest rates in the US. I don't think there's any way possible around it. Will they extend benefits? I think they were going to have to. And I think they're going to release the central bank digital currencies and they're going to put them directly in your account. I think that's probably what's going to happen. Whether all of that happens this year, I don't know, but that is the long-term plan, according to IMF, the BIS, and 50 central banks which signed on to that. All right, guys, I think we're here at the middle of the hour. I promised you 30 minutes. We covered triple witching. We covered Perth Mint. Stay tuned to our channel. We're going to have a lot more on Perth Mint. Believe you me. Happy Father's Day to everybody. And just remember, this is Cowboy Metals Live. We broadcast from the great state of Texas. We take no BS. And this time, with regards to the Perth Mint and other manipulators in the market, hell is going to come with us. The reckoning is going to come. I assure you of that. Till next time, this is Rob Keens of Gold Silver Pros. Happy Father's Day, everybody. Love you guys. Stay tuned to our channel. Monday night, we've got Keith Newmeyer. Tuesday night, we're going to be doing a simulcast with Wall Street Silver. And the rest of the week, we're going to be doing more content. Stay tuned to the channel. You don't want to miss it. Till next time.